Cool trivia in the Marvel Universe. Knowledge 1. In the movie Iron Man 2, Whiplash, with his self-made arc whips and heavy-duty armor, managed to overpower Iron Man and War Machine for a while, if it hadn't been for Tony's quick thinking, coming up with the idea of using the arc hedge attack with Rhodey's palm repulsors. The two of them might really have been defeated by him, but actually, Whiplash's abilities are far inferior to Tony's. Pay close attention to their first showdown on the racetrack. Through Jarvis's real-time analysis, Tony discovered that Whiplash's reactor had an energy output of only 1.8 gigajoules per second. In contrast, the first-generation reactor that Tony pieced together from scraps in the cave had an output of a whopping 3 gigajoules per second.
If my math is right, and it always is, 3 gigajoules per second.
In other words, the technology that Whiplash was so proud of was just a weakened version of Tony's early and rather rough designs. Even though later he had an advantage in terms of combat strength with his whips, the inherent deficiency of his energy core meant that he was doomed to never truly defeat Tony. You know, the technological gap can never be bridged just by brute force. Knowledge 2. In Captain America: Civil War, Vision accidentally injured Rhodey, causing War Machine to fall from a high altitude and suffer serious injuries. Surprisingly, the first person who rushed forward to apologize to Tony was Falcon, who was on the opposing side. This reaction wasn't a coincidence. It was an emotional foreshadowing laid by Marvel, because before this incident, Falcon had confided in Captain America about his inner pain. He once witnessed a comrade falling from a high altitude and felt completely helpless. So when Rhodey's aircraft crashed, Falcon's memories came flooding back instantly. His sorry to Tony, which seemed like words of comfort, was actually a deeper feeling of guilt from sharing a similar experience. Knowledge 3. In Avengers: Endgame, why did the chubby Thor call back his hammer? Wasn't he afraid that Stormbreaker would be jealous? You know, at that time, Thor already had the powerful Stormbreaker. The main reason he called back Mjolnir again was related to his tragic experiences. It can be said that there is no character in the entire Marvel universe who has had a more miserable life than Thor. In Thor, his younger brother Loki fell off the Bifrost Bridge. In Thor: The Dark World, the Dark Elves invaded Asgard, and his mother was brutally killed. In Thor: Ragnarok, his father passed away right in front of him and his brother. And Asgard, where he had lived for hundreds of years, was completely destroyed. In Avengers: Infinity War, his friend Heimdall was stabbed to death, and his brother Loki was choked to death. By then, Thor had lost everything he could possibly lose. At the end of Avengers: Infinity War, Thanos successfully snapped his fingers, and Thor became completely disheartened. After receiving the patient guidance from his mother, Thor gradually regained his confidence. The purpose of him calling back Mjolnir was to check if he still had the worthiness to lift the hammer.